Am I the idiot for not giving my mother her dying wish when I easily could? Why? Female 16, mother has cancer. She's getting treatment but I don't think it's working well. It's hard and we've all been a mess. But yeah, my mom has a son from her previous marriage, Brady, male 27. My mom didn't treat him well and he cut contact with her when he turned 18. I'm pretty sure he calls his stepmother, Mom. I don't blame him and can accept the fact that while Mom was a great mother to me, she was a terrible one to him. We talk occasionally but it's usually just him sending me pics of his wife and kids and me sending him pics of my cat and I lol. He has zero contact with my parents. I don't know if it's the cancer or the inevitable but my mom has been asking about Brady a lot. I tell her things like oh he's fine etc, you know, a general idea, but I don't go into detail to respect his privacy. But then my mom started asking me to make him visit at least once. So I texted Brady and asked if he wanted to visit and he said no. It would be too hard and then he just changed the topic. I didn't ask him to explain. I told my mother and she started crying. She begged me to give her his number and that she just wanted to see her first baby one last time. She wanted a chance to apologize and tell him that she loved him. I was really tempted but I just couldn't. I love my brother and he's always been kind to me. The least I can do is respect his wishes. It hurt to see my mother cry while she's already in such a weak state but I refused to give her his number. She just cried harder and asked me why I was torturing her as well, basically implying that I'm in the wrong for preventing her from seeing her son. My dad is upset with me as well and said that he can't believe I'm choosing a spoiled bastard over my sick mother. I don't think I'm an idiot, but I do feel horrible. My mom is incredibly unwell and it's true that she can't really do anything. It's the only thing she's asking for these days, but I just can't. Does that make me an idiot? Comments before the update, not the idiot, especially after what your father said. Your brother is a person just like your mom and just because your mom is upset now doesn't excuse her behavior toward your brother. You might end up having to go stay with your brother if your dad decides to continue being angry with you after your mom passes. You're the idiot. Your mother is dying and you are the reason she is suffering. I can't comprehend not giving the number to her. Your brother will be pissed but ultimately forgive whereas your mom is gonna die. What a daughter you are. Update, hi guys. So it's been really hard these past few days. My mom was just getting worse and my dad wasn't coming home until like 3 AM. I couldn't even spend time with my mother because every time I saw her, all she did was ask me for my brother. Whenever I said no, she'd start crying and my dad would get mad at me. I tried so hard to not let this affect me. I read everyone's comments when it got too hard. I was scared of asking my brother for help as well and stopped messaging him just in case. I didn't go to school for an entire week. My parents didn't care and I slept more than I ever had. I ignored everyone but my cat and I won't lie, sometimes I want to do it again. This went on for a few days, but then my brother showed up. I haven't seen him in person in weeks and the house is filled with bad memories for him so it was a surprise. No one was home except me so I let him in and the first thing he did was hug me. I won't lie, I cried like a freaking baby and told him everything. I didn't want to burden him with my problems and I felt horrible for dumping everything onto him but he told me that it's okay and that's what big brothers are for. He also told me that he had spoken to my mom and dad before coming to see me. He decided to give them a call after I stopped replying to his texts, phone calls. I don't know what they talked about and I'm fine not knowing. But apparently they agreed that it would be best if I stayed with my brother for a while, until my mother gets better or you know, whatever comes first. Overall, I'm glad that I posted here. What I'd do if my brother decided he wanted to cut me out of his life. I was very close to giving my parents his number. I don't think I would have but again, the thought was definitely there and posting on here got rid of that thought. My brother told me that he's thankful but I should have let him know that they were forcing me. He said that I come before how he feels which just made me cry some more. No idiots here. If it were me, I would be so proud of my sister for staying so strong and keeping my privacy. He seems like a great man, and you were so strong how you handled this, even if it doesn't feel like you were. Also great to hear that you'll be staying with him for a while. This situation doesn't seem healthy for you at all with your parents. I hope you can both work on healing together, not the idiot. You and your brother are lucky to have each other. Even though you haven't been super present in each other's lives, it's clear how much you care for each other. I hope your mom's condition improves as well. My mom had cancer when I was 16 and it was so hard on everyone. I wish you the best. Should she have given her mom the number? Let me know in the comments. Am I the idiot for yelling at my aunt that I want to go back to my real home? So I, female 16, and my little brother Ben, 12, live with our aunt Katie, 35. She's super rich. Like we live on a farm in BC and her house is huge. She's an engineer, she goes to fancy dinners, has met MPs and meets business people a lot. Like she got my brother a PS5 the day it came out. Our mom was not rich, we lived in a one-story house but I loved it. After our mom died we were supposed to live with our dad's parents in Ontario but aunt took us both in instead. I didn't really know Aunt Katie before that. Like I remember when I was little she lived with mom and my grandparents but then she was gone one day. Mom always said they had a bad fight but she never talked about it and Aunt Katie's told me enough for me to get the feeling that they didn't really like each other because of it. I know Aunt Katie loves me, like she'll teach me how to cook, go to my games and help with pre-calc when she's around but it's not like it is with Ben. Like she treats him like he is her son and I've always just felt like I'm staying over. I don't know, I've really been missing home and yesterday after dinner I asked her if I could go and see it and she said no. When I asked why she asked why I would ever want to go back there when she's given me so much better. It kind of started a fight between us and she said she always hated that place and it had hurt her to go there. Then she said one day I'd appreciate her taking me into the house when it's mine and I just yelled back that I want to go back to my real home. She just got really quiet and sent me to my room. I heard her crying in her room last night when I went to the washroom and I feel bad but I don't know if I'm wrong cause I just want to see it again. When I told Ben about it this morning, he told me I was an idiot since I made her cry and she does so much for us. Writing this in my free period, so not sure I'll be able to respond much. Edit. Quickly putting this in before lunch period ends. My mom died when I was 12 and my brother was 8 and we've lived with Aunt Katie since then. She didn't just take us this year. Comments before update. You're the idiot. A little bit. But I'd give everyone a break in this situation. It's tough for someone who is 35 to suddenly be raising teenagers. She probably pays more attention to your little brother because he's younger and she's not as sure what you need. But it sounds like she's doing her best. I think you should apologize and talk it out. Whatever she's reacting to, it's probably not about your old house and how nice the house is. She probably feels like she's put aside a lot of her own life to take care of you guys, and when you said you wanted to go home, it made her feel like she's doing a bad job. No idiots here. Your situation is hard. It's okay to miss what was your home, and she is likely sensitive about it as well in the exact opposite way. I would suggest approaching her and meeting her where she is. Thank her for what she does for you, but let her know what you're feeling. Maybe you can work something out. Emotions got too high here, so let it simmer down and then have an open discussion. Update. So the day I posted I didn't see Aunt Katie because she was working all day. But the day after she surprised me by picking me up from school. Ben bust, she told me we'd talk about things at home. Then she took me shopping and then to the spa and we had the best time together. When we got home after dinner she said we needed to talk now and took me to the nursery. I did get scared cause that's the one room Ben and I aren't allowed to go to. She said she was sorry if I didn't think of her home as mine yet and would try harder. She told me how bad her parents were to her but it was okay for me to keep loving them cause they weren't like that to me but I can't anymore. She told me she left home cause my mom stole her master's tuition money to pay for me and Ben and she didn't tell me this cause she didn't want me to ever think of my mom as bad but I needed to know why she wasn't going back there. I honestly felt like poop at that point. She told me she took us because our mom was probably afraid what would happen to us when she was gone and what if being with our dad's parents let him take us. Then she told me how everything she has is for Ben and me and how it will all be ours when she's gone and I just started crying cause I didn't want to think of her being dead like everyone else we love. I cried like a baby in her arms till my head hurt and I think I ruined her shirt with all the fluids. I tried to remember what you guys told me to say like how I should apologize and stuff to say to her but I couldn't so I just kept saying sorry. When she finally got me to calm down she asked if I felt okay and I remembered what one user said and I told her how I loved doing all the things we do together cause it made it feel like I still have a mom. And felt jealous she did so much more with Ben like she wants to be his mom but not mine. She gave me a hug and said she loves me just as much and promised to make more time for just us. She did make me brush and go to bed but she sat on my bed and held my hand till I fell asleep. I know it was babyish but I did like it and it did make me feel a bit special again. Since then things have been so much better. We've all been spending so much more time together and it has kinda started feeling like a real family. I still haven't gone to see my old home and still want to but maybe that'll come another time. I guess I'm just happy that things between my aunt and I are better and that's the way it'll stay. No idiots here. Okay, I'm crying. You're a strong, amazing young woman. It seems like you have a pretty great aunt too. I am so happy you talked and things are improving. Don't ever feel like crying or needing your hand held is childish. Everyone needs support and to let out emotions. Hopefully one day you can go visit your old home. Until then, enjoy your new home and the family you have. It sounds like you love each other very much. Best wishes and hugs. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for putting extra salt in my sister-in-law's food? Hi, 34, female, have a sister-in-law, F25. Let's call her H. She's been together with my brother J, 32, male, for 3 years now. We were born in Europe but originally from the Middle East. He was born and raised in Europe. Our religion and part of our culture is different from hers but we didn't mind because she's a nice girl. And we are open-minded. She really tries her best to please my brother in every way. She's learning Arabic, asking about the culture, and lately she started looking up recipes from our country too. My brother is very happy with everything she does and if he's happy then we are too. Last week they came to visit our whole family for lunch. Our family is pretty big with many cousins, kids, brothers, sisters, parents and grandparents. Most of them were there. He made a meal which is really popular in the country we're originally from. Everyone was amazed by it. She left it in the kitchen with all of the other dishes for later. Well, to be fair, I've been cooking since I was 14 years old and I'm a pretty good cook too. I was interested in how her food tasted so I tried it. It wasn't bad but I thought maybe I could fix it up with a little salt and spices. When we served the food for lunch, everyone complimented H about the dish and how well she's done it. Here is where I might be the idiot. I told everyone that I fixed the food up with some salt and spices. Jay got very angry and started to argue with me in front of everyone. He told me there was nothing wrong with H's meal and I shouldn't be disrespectful. But I believe in constructive criticism and I was trying to help her learn. After they've gone and I saw H crying in the car, my family told me I was in awe and embarrassed our guest. I feel pretty bad. Am I the idiot? Edit. Okay, so I see everyone thinks I am an idiot but just to clear things up, I didn't say it in a bad way. I told her I tried it myself and for the first try it tasted really good but I thought it could use some salt and spices so I put some more if you don't mind. Next time it'll be even better. And I didn't want to steal the spotlight, I just wanted to be honest. Edit 2. I apologized the next day and I told her it's a misunderstanding but my brother can't let this go. Comments before the update. You're the idiot. Let's try this ... You make a meal. While you are in talking with guests your sister-in-law goes into the kitchen, taste tests everything and decides you haven't done it to her liking and proceeds to doctor up the dishes you made. Get it now? How would you feel? It's called empathy and you have none. You're the idiot. You could have easily salted and seasoned your own portion and let everyone else decide how they wanted theirs to taste. You injected your own opinion into everyone else's food without their knowledge or permission. Update. After my post I started to think things through and had a long conversation with my grandparents. A lot of trauma unfolded and I realized why I was being like this with my sister-in-law. When I was around her age, I had a similar personality to her. Shy, kind to everyone, always smiling and being very positive. Then bad things happened and I started to change. I became this anxious, negative person who I am today. When she became part of the family, I realized how she was and then I thought she needs to toughen up. I saw my old self in her and thought if she will stay like this, she'll get hurt. It was something in my subconscious. I didn't even think how toxic I am actually being to her. I hurt her, hurt my brother and embarrassed my family. I wanted to fix things, apologize and make sure nothing like this happens again. So I invited her over for lunch. Thankfully she said yes. I looked up some recipes from her country and got to cooking. When she arrived the food was ready. She tasted it and jokingly said it could use some salt and spices. Oh my lord, I deserved it, haha. Then we had a conversation about our issues and cried. It was so wholesome. We promised each other we would cook something together every weekend. Then we went to my parents' house and almost everyone who came to visit last time was there. I've apologized from the ones I've hurt and promised nothing like this will ever happen again. They forgave me. We had a good time after, lots of laughs, tea and food. Before they left, I pulled my brother to the side and gave him my phone with a confirmation email. I rented the most romantic place ever for him and my sister-in-law to go and celebrate Christmas together. We will decorate the place with Jay in the next few days. And finally, I've decided to go to therapy and work on my issues. For the sake of myself and my family too. These few days were intense and this was a huge wake-up call. One thing is for sure, I wouldn't want to lose the ones I love the most. Thank you, Reddit. Not the idiot. Admitting that you're wrong is so hard, but to go the extra mile and try to fix your wrong and go to therapy to work on yourself is amazing. Good for you, Opus. If we had more people like you, the world would be a better place.